Hello, everybody. This is Grace on a Journey, and you are listening to Angelic Healing Express. I don't know how I feel about today's episode, but I know it has to be done, and I am in the spirit of obedience. Part of me doesn't want to do it because I feel like why should I? But the other part of me remembers what God told me, that I am to live out loud and other people will learn from my experiences as I share the lessons that I learned along the way. I already feel emotional about it because there are some disclosures that I will be making that I would prefer not to make, that are somewhat sensitive to me. But before I connected with you, I asked for clearance regarding these disclosures and how these ancestors feel about it. And I got the support of God and my angels, and the support of those that I love. I'm going to first start by taking 3 deep breaths. And every time I inhale the Holy Spirit. Every time I exhale what no longer serves me. Person, place, thing, energy, anything that's not in alignment with my highest good. I'm making myself available to be an open vessel, to be used by God as an instrument, to not only heal, but to help others heal that are hearing my voice. To embrace God not only with my words, but with my being, with my actions, with all that I am. Tears that may fall during this segment represent cleansing energies. So any of you that sheds a tear during this episode, know that it's for your betterment. And rather than these tears making you weak, they're making you strong. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Now, today's title wow. That's beautiful. Because I was about to tell you what today's title was, and there is a music box I have. And I was going to pick something up next to it. And as I was picking it up, wow, this is a sign. As I was picking it up, I heard music in my ears. And I didn't wind it up to make any sounds. So I know that the ancestors are definitely here, because that music box in particular is something that connects me to my ancestors. So I like the sign that they are present and they approve, and that everything that I do in today's segment is approved. Now, I just got an angel message. Let me share what it's saying. You have the ability to lift up the hearts of all those around you like an angel on the earth. You were born to shine. Okay. The title is Lifelines, plural. When I first received this title, I was under the impression that it was lifeline, and I said, what does that mean? And it was further explained that this episode will be somewhat of a guide to those that absorb the resourcefulness that will be made available to them through it. So it's called Lifelines. Okay? Evil has been defeated. Evil has been defeated in battle. Success. News spread. When I do my divination work, I don't only interpret the message. The illustration means a lot to me. And in this picture, confirmation, I see the victorious ones. But what is most remarkable about this is the fact that the woman that's being carried is in the front of the line. So even though that woman once felt alone in battle, she was being carried by many. And although there were masculine energies and feminine energies that were against her, confirmation, there were also divine feminine energies and divine masculine energies that were with her. That was left unseen because there were illusions being made for us just to see what would put her in the mindset of defeat. Confirmation. But she could not be defeated because she was never alone, and she was being protected and defended by those seen and those unseen. All right? Light is being shined on the truth of the matter. She experienced a lot in the darkness, but she made it to the winning line. The root chakra is our connection to the earth, the material world, and it controls our connection to our primal needs. I need to stop right there because the message I'm receiving is, in battle she was attacked. Many ways, but there was an emphasis on her root chakra. Confirmation, because that was in association to her confidence, security, strength, everything that would keep her in that winning energy. And so because her root chakra was being attacked, there were supplemental energies that supported her. I just received a sign from Archangel Michael. And I definitely know that he's here. And I have gratitude. Factors such as finances can create generational blockages. This is one of the other reasons why she was being attacked in many areas, with an emphasis on the root chakra. Because the world interprets money as power. So, and I hear a vehicle in the background. So the power is movement forward. So because they want you to be stagnant in your energy and unable to move forward, they attack your root chakra to create not only blockages in your life, but generational blockages. One of the reasons why a lot of you chosen were being attacked is because your bloodline is recognized as high vibrational. Which connects you to favor, prosperity, good health, abundance. Your divine inheritance. I'm hearing inheritances. And so to combat you, efforts were being made to intertwine with you by marrying into your bloodline and co-creating with you. Because if they can't beat you, why not join you? Aligning you to their misery. So it was a gamble. Either you would join them, which they're still attempting, and lose your gifts by intermingling with them or procreating with them and not breaking the generational curse. Or that they would benefit from you, but that would require for them to raise their vibration. Although you may have a bloodline that offers potential, if you do not align yourself to the will of God, to your soul's purpose, to breaking those generational curses, you forfeit the potential. And this was the misunderstanding. As I've shared before, although there are those that are seers, that are aligned to the dark, just as there are those that are seers that align to the light. Those that align to the light, which is to the top, to the higher vibration of God, receives the higher vibrational messages. And those that align to the dark, the messages that they receive are of a lower vibration, and what keeps them in that energy of a lower vibration. The higher you are, the closer you are to hear, to see the higher vibrations. The lower you are, the closer you are to see, to hear the darker vibrations. And so you interpret it in that vibration. Your gifts are not being denied, but your vibration is being recognized. Factors such as finances can create generational blockages within the root chakra that can manifest as an overemphasis on the material world. As above, so below. This could also indicate a need to focus on more grounding. You see, the illusions will tell you all the things that money can offer you. But then there are essential facts that we are overlooking, which is money cannot be everything. Because we over here having a human experience. But before that human experience, we were already having that spiritual experience. Because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So the chain of command has to be from the top, which is your spiritual being. As you elevate in the spiritual sense, as above, so below. But if you remain to descend in the spiritual sense into the darker depths of power, as the illusion presents it, then that is the wave of energy that you'll be experiencing. So we need to indicate more focus in regards to our priorities. There could be an overabundance of mental or emotional energy in your lineage. All right? Things left unhealed. Generational curses that were supposed to be broken, but that were neglected or pushed aside or disregarded or dismissed. friendship. You see, after that healing that takes place, after the generational curses have been dismissed and so forth, you afford yourself a connection in elevation with the spiritual, or to the spiritual realms. This friendship affords you favor, guidance, truth, clarity, manifestation, and so forth. Messages are being sent. General messages that are very powerful, that we can all gain instruction from. Stand your ground. Don't let yourself down. Do your protection work. Continue to create. Complete your task. Something in relation to a grandfather energy. Grandfathers represent the patriarch order. Masculine dominance. The rites of passage involving the passing down of traditions regarding leadership. When this card appears, there is healing needed around the engagement with the grandfather energy. This also indicates a higher level of masculine force is at play in your life. Some of you need healing with your grandfather energy. And that's something you need to work on, because that is the foundation of healing yourself. What we're overlooking in healing is just jumping into shadow work is not all it takes. I know there are a lot of contradictions when it takes to this philosophy. And what I mean specifically is that there are those that do not believe in the necessity of healing ancestral trauma. Okay? Some that I appreciate their teachings, but I do not align to this department of their understanding. As you get more knowledge in relation to spirituality and more awareness of different spiritual teachers, gurus, whatever they call themselves. There's so many titles nowadays. You will notice that just because you agreed in this area and that area does not mean, well, I said believe, same thing, does not mean that you believe everything that they subscribe to. And you're not called to. We're all on our own path. So there are certain things that you will be in agreement with, and there is something that is universal, which is free will. So There are certain things that your soul does not connect with. And that is not resonating. Do not ever pressure yourself to be like white on rice when it comes to leadership. There's something some of you might have forgotten when I've shared this before, which is there are certain teachers that you have this season that will not be your teacher next season, because you have elevated from one frequency to another. And then, quite frankly, some of you may experience a sense of demotion. And so you may feel more attracted to a lower vibration in teaching. Sometimes that's connected to recalibration. And so the journey is never just straight and narrow. The zigzags, the twirls, the ups and downs are all necessary, because that is when you meet an opportunity to meditate on these new sets of patterns, enabling you to connect the dots and seeing the bigger picture for what it is. All right? I know that it would appear to be more efficient to just experience life when it comes to the straight and narrow, but that's not reality. That is not the reality that we reside in presently. Okay, so we have to learn the rules and stay in the what's the word I want to use? Stay in the vicinity. I use that strategically because in saying staying in the lines, I hesitated because sometimes you can't stay in the lines. Those lines constrict you. They were not meant for you. So you have to evade them. But the vicinity allows you to sense the energies regarding your intuition. Do I move closer or do I step away? Intention. Intention matters a lot. I'm going to repeat something that I've shared with you several times, which is balance is the fruit of the universe. So regardless of being a feminine energy or a masculine energy, there are times where you have to pronounce yourself in balance, because that is what is in alignment with the universal energy. So even while being feminine, there are times you have to stand up for yourself. There are times you have to set boundaries. There are times you have to say no more. While being in your masculine energy, there are times you say, I need to be a nurturer, even while being in your masculine energy. There are times you have to say, we're friends. Let me be a friend to you. There are times in your masculine energy you have to say, something encouraging. In whatever love language. Right? Merging the feminine and masculine energies. And in perfect balance, we develop ourselves to be divine. There's a time for aggressiveness. There's a time for calmness. You know what I find more, what I respect a lot in men? There are some men that are leaders. Not only in their personal lives, but also their calling, also their careers. They have people under them. They're closer to the top when it comes to the chain of command. But when they are with their woman, they don't only see you as an equal. But they're there for you if you need to be motivated in confidence. This is the same man that can have a group of men sit down due to his authority over them. But you, just one woman who he loves and respects and honors, he's willing to talk it out respectfully. As he shows respect, you show respect. Nothing in there states that a woman is supposed to talk over a man and tell him, make him feel in a manner where only she can conduct things this way or that way, unless that is where God positioned her. Because you have to have what it takes to do what it takes. Right? But I'm speaking like in the sense of being in union with someone. I feel both parties should respect each other. And both parties should make each other feel my voice matters, my opinion matters, my revelation matters, my intuition matters in each other's lives. Especially when you're a strong woman. If you want to maintain that relationship, especially to a strong man, You need to know how to balance your work life and your home life. You know you're with who you are meant to be with when you don't even have to do much effort when he comes to that. Because he just sees you as his equal. So it's not as if you have to be, you know, you're my equal, you cannot be with someone who has low self-esteem, who doubts himself, who thinks that he doesn't deserve you. It's going to cause friction. Which leads to destruction. And then there goes the foundation. You have to be on a plateau that both of you are comfortable with. I could read into that a lot more, but I'm going to move forward. Danger, breakup, depredation, easy prey for your enemies. Some of you are in this energy right now. Some of you was in that energy, and then some of you are in that energy. And this is not to bring that to your attention. This is to confirm this. So do not allow yourself to be in a state of paranoia if this was never brought to your attention. You never had that inclination or anything, because this is referring to confirmation right here. Okay? God is a never-ending higher power. This card could indicate a need to build a stronger connection with your higher power. Honor your ancestors for an enhancement in the quality of your life. I'm going to say something that is controversial, but that's what I'm about, right? Freedom. And so a lot of you were programmed to believe to run away from your ancestors and to call them demonic by name. I'm here to tell you that there are higher vibrational ancestors and there are lower vibrational ancestors, and that's facts. So as you praise God, you share your testimonies, you honor Him, you pray, and all sorts of things, you remember that God is the creator of you and He is the creator of your ancestors, where you come from. When you want to be in the energy that is godly, you align yourself to God, but you respect the messages from godly energies as well. Now, there are different ways you receive ancestral. See, I was going to say messages. There are different ways you receive messages, but I'm hearing ancestral. So there are different ways you receive ancestral messages. However, I don't dip and dabble in everything, and I highly recommend that you don't do anything that God is not leading you to do, and that your intuition is not hesitating about. Because there are certain doors, like my grandmother said, and I still remember today, there are certain doors you can open that you can't close. So learn to stay in your lane and mind your business. Respect the dead. Okay? If you're looking for trouble with anything and anyone, I promise you, looking for trouble with the dead is just your grave in the making. And although some of you may be saying, well, who would do that? Well, I know some people who have, because I've seen it in my visions. And some of them are listening right now. That was digging their grave. When they are so arrogant, they not only attack someone, but they have the audacity to try to attack their ancestors. And then they look for something and they found it. When you look for something, you find it, right? Because there's a big difference from fighting in the physical and then fighting what you can't see. That's a sign of insanity. And this is why these people, start screaming, running around, having to be sent to the mental institution, having to be put under volume, having to, trying to commit suicide and everything because they open doors that they can't close. One thing I would also like to recommend is, before you accuse somebody of committing a crime, especially a criminal crime, a spiritual crime, whatever crime, it would behoove you to be in the energy of whoever sent this attack, known or unknown enemies. Confirmation. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because there are certain people that are going down right now because they allowed mentally ill, possessed, evil energies to guide them. And told them that so-and-so is doing spell work on you. So-and-so did this to you. So-and-so is doing that to your child. So-and-so is doing this. And meanwhile, it's them. So now, the karma comes about by the attacks that you made to the person that never did anything to you. And also, the back to senders that you sent to them that they never sent to you. You see? It gets even deeper than that. You're receiving back to senders in a manner of exponents. To the 3rd degree, to the 4th degree, to the 5th degree. How many times? Because some of you sent back to senders, and then you sent it again because you felt it didn't work, and then you sent it again. So all of that you're experiencing is not anyone's doing but your creations. And the fact of the matter, while this was occurring, there were many messengers that were sharing and clarifying these happenings. But somehow, the collective decision was to belittle them, to mock them, and to continue in that same energy of sending further and further attacks to their households, to their careers, to their families, to their finances, to their home, to their root chakras, to their chakras, to their crown chakras. Any part of them that was available for attack was attacked. Some of you, I'm hearing some of you are receiving it 100-fold, because the back descenders are rounded up to 100-fold. Due to not only your efforts in returning it to sender, but the assistance of sister so-and-so, quote-unquote, brother so-and-so, quote-unquote, pastor so-and-so, quote-unquote, prophetess so-and-so, quote-unquote, usher so-and-so, quote-unquote, all of your energies. And some of you even went further to unite and make an oath to be problematic in these people's lives for the rest of their existence. You signed oaths. You made deals with the devil. He doesn't recant contracts. Once you made a contract with him, he already has you. And that's why a lot of you are doing things that you don't even understand what you're doing, because it's not really you doing it. You already gave your vessel away. When you sold your soul, you gave your vessel away. This is why you're having sex addictions, and you're not understanding why your mind can't align to your spirit, can't align to your mentality. You know it's wrong. You know it's putting you in danger. You know it makes you feel unclean spiritually. But your body's doing it. Because when you sold your soul, you sold your vessel. You didn't read the fine print. And this is why you're attracting different diseases right now. Because you signed a contract with the unclean, and now you're attracting unclean diseases and sicknesses, mentally, physically, spiritually, exponentially. Self-sabotage. Every time you are back to sender, and you are putting someone on your altar to send attacks to, asking your ancestors to attack so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, they never did anything to you. As we speak, still never did anything to you. Even prophesized that because she's going to keep her hands clean, this is what's going to happen to you. This was all prophesied. But your memory cannot align with the truth physically. So even though you received the warning, even though in your heart you know she is in the spirit of love, but still physically you continue to attack because you're fragmented now. When you sell your soul, you are now fragmented. So you cannot get yourself in alignment. And that's why you can't get yourself in alignment to God's will, confirmation to God's will, because you're fragmented. Someone made a statement yesterday that caught my attention. He said something in regards to the mark of the beast mentioned in Revelation, and how those who don't have the mark of the beast would get persecuted. And because the chosen refused to subscribe to the demonic philosophies and the corrupt lifestyles and basically the selling out of humanity when it came to those with certain degrees, quote unquote, in society, they were being targeted. They are being targeted, and by numbers, by covens, by associations. Efforts of blacklisting them, efforts of demonetizing them, efforts of being a symbol of blockage in every area of their life. Especially their fourth house. Balance is the fruit of the universe, right? And I've always shared with you, you may have some information on the lower vibration, but you don't have all the information if you're not in the higher vibration. Basically, what we are witnessing in today's times is balance. You may have the mark of the beast, right? But the chosen have their own seal. God's children's seal. Also, you may function with your limitation, with your mark of the beast, but you still need the power of creativity when it comes to the seal of God. Balance, I'm going to repeat that, is the fruit of the universe. But the seal of God surpasses all. In other words, the chosens do not need the mark of the beast. Because we can create. We can regenerate. We are connected to source. We can eliminate. What does the mark of the beast? Wow. I was going to say the mark, then I said the bark. Bestial energies, right? What does the mark of the beast offer you? Those who are cruel. Those who like to kill, steal, and destroy. The sexual predators. The evil priests and evil priestesses. The killers, the murderers, everything in alignment to the lower vibration. What is the mark of the beast affording you? Because apparently you appear to be in desperate shoes. This is why you are chasing the seal of the divine. Because even with your mark, you're stuck. And that's the unveiling of the truth. You're stuck. It started from the top, so those below can see who they choose to believe. Do they really want to be in your energy? Or do they want to go to the chief of command? Because they see unluckiness where you stand. God is the truth. The light and the way. Forever I will stay. There will never be an option for me to turn back. Turn back for what? The lake of fire has never been of a vacation spot. My goal is to end suffering, not to strive for suffering. Outcasts, overwhelming situations, attitude, sickness, madness, mental block. Some of you are in a spirit of self-sabotage. You need to suffer. It's like you have an addiction to suffering. You neglected the powers that God introduced you to and chose suffering instead. And I'm hearing it was a spell. It was a spell that you succumbed to because you did not detach from people, places, things, and energies that are not in alignment with your highest good. The heart chakra is a gateway between our higher self and our lower self. It regulates our sense of empathy for others, emotions and compassion, restrictions, trauma, and other ancestral trauma factors can weaken the heart chakra, creating generational patterns such as codependency, disconnection from our own emotions, and in extreme cases, ruthlessness towards others. There are some of you that experience stages of restriction when it came to your emotions. You didn't allow others to know how you feel. You chose to be negative in your energy, manipulative in your energy, unfaithful, disloyal, greedy. Exploitive. Demonic. Exponentially. And now you're in the energy of being an outcast. You're being exposed spiritually and physically. Some of you are being exposed in relation to your sexuality. Some of you are being exposed in relation to your behavior, what was stolen, the baggage that was stolen is being exposed. Your hand is being exposed. How far you went is being exposed. The tears you influenced is being exposed. The death you left behind is being exposed. The blood magic is being exposed. The voodoo is being exposed. The cliff that you're about to fall off on is being exposed. Beginnings. And that's telling me endings, because it requires endings for beginnings. And the fact that you're on a cliff and you're not looking because you are in trance of a spell. It's only one more step. Fall off. Be careful what you do to others, because you may attract it into your life. Do harm to none. Someone's going to transcend, and that is going to equate the energy of liberty in many lives. This was a decision made by the ancestors, because they saw what happened. They gave enough warnings. So there's a portal open right now for someone in the feminine energy. It's time to be dealt with. In the realm to come. I'm hearing there's no way out. Regardless, if you try to speed up the process, you will still be dealt with in the realm to come. You cannot get out of it. Someone's quiet now. Due to repercussions. Grandmother represents matriarchy, preservation of family legacy, and the tradition of passing down feminine wisdom and spirituality through the DNA. When this card appears, there is healing needed around the engagement with the grandmother energy, and it can also indicate a higher level maternal figure is around you now, most definitely. I stand on the shoulders of those that came before me. But because I said soldiers, those that came before me were also soldiers. I love how the communication is coming through. The next card is wow, it's confirmation. Because it says Archangel Gabriel, but it also says grace. Being that I'm a messenger, I'm called to communicate with the masses with this blue background suggesting healing, and the white representing not only cosmic energy but purity. a divine nature. Oh, God is here. And I'm supported by the archangels. And I'm covered by grace. Just as those of you that are called on the field to work while facing the oppositions of the enemies until they are eliminated one by one, as we are witnessing as time goes on. Pay attention to the signs. Confirmation. They're dying, or they're going to jail, or they're being exposed. But one stage leads to another stage. One ending leads to another beginning. So if they are in the stage of being exposed, it's going to lead to facing the consequences. Spiritual jail, then physical jail. The compensation for sin is death. Those that are in the energy of being a strong character, who's faithful and tender, it's being recognized by the heavens. And you are supported by universal energies, including the elements. Water, fire, earth, air, and spirit. The symbol represents charisma, legacy. The main factors needed to build a strong legacy that our descendants would be proud of. This card indicates a need to focus on the legacy you are currently leaving behind. Listen. Listen clearly. Because some legacies are being left behind. So let me repeat that. This symbol represents charisma, leadership, and greatness. The main factors needed to build a strong legacy that our descendants would be proud of. This card indicates a need to focus on the legacy you are currently leaving behind. See, as you leave these legacies behind, you break these generational curses. Some legacies were intertwined with generational curses. And that's the truth of the matter. Creating a legacy of honor and integrity. So you not only need to currently leave a legacy behind, you are creating a legacy of honor and integrity. In relation to a repetitive trauma and obstacle that you have assisted your descendants to walk away from. So as you break that generational curse, you will be paving a way for your descendants so that they would not experience a repetitive trauma of obstacles associated to this generational curse. Work, service, savings made with great effort, talent, wisdom, trauma transmutation is the process of transmuting the energy of trauma that still lingers within our energy field into a higher force. This can be done spiritually through emotional development, as well as gaining knowledge and wisdom regarding the mechanics of human behavior. What is transmuted is released from us permanently. Thank you, God. Thank you for teaching me the art of releasing these attacks that are being sent to me by my enemies, releasing them to my angels to transmute them for me. Which empowers me by healing me and teaching me how to heal others. I end my cycles of trauma. I end my cycles of trauma. I'm sensing interference with my throat chakra. The lower vibrations want to intervene here. And so I'm going to say it again, the third time. I end my cycles of trauma. I want you to say it with me because there's power in this. This is why there was an attempt to manipulate my throat chakra. Say it only if you believe it. Say it only if you are receiving it. Say it only if you are empowered by it. I end my cycles of trauma. I end my cycles of trauma. I end my cycles of trauma. And so it is. He say, mercy. Mercy is the next card. God is offering grace and mercy. Wow. Grace is right next to mercy. Grace and mercy. Actually, between grace and mercy, I just noted a card I overlooked, which says planetary cycles. The message I'm receiving, because this is Archangel Sandalphon, and he assists in many areas, but one of the areas he assists in is relaying your messages to the divine. So the fact that the grace card is underneath the intention card, when you are not only saying grace and mercy, but you are in the intention of grace and mercy, God receives that message. So as you give it, you receive it. As you give it, it's aligned with receiving it. In divine timing. Light is being shed. Okay. So, grace and mercy happens in divine timing. See, there's always something bigger than you. Hopefully you respect that chain of command. Lifelines. May we all learn from the victories of others and the lessons of others. Your path. Dear Lord, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I can see through my fears and illusions. Completeness. Awakening. They don't want you to awaken. They're trying to interfere They're trying to interfere with your awakening, and they're trying to send fear. They are using water magic, and they have the intention to use your friends or your used to be friends. They think it's funny. They think it's a game. They're doing sex magic. They're calling on water spirits. They're doing magic on your third eye, on your root chakra, on your crown chakra, on your throat chakra, on your sacral chakra, on your solar plexus, on your heart chakra, basically everywhere. They want to drown you. God and the angels are with you now. Have no fear. Okay, so your path, completeness, awakening. So they don't want you to be awakened to the fact that you're done with that cycle. All right? There's completeness. So you are still on the right path, but you are being promoted to another task on your path. They're trying to interfere with your movement forward. They want to hold on to you because they want to drain you for your life force. And on the physical plane, they want to use your presence as a beard. Those who don't know. They want access to your wisdom. They need access to your solar plexus. Wow, plaque. Okay, so they want to exchange their plaque. Okay? They want to exchange their debris, their stains, and give them to you while they possess the energy of your solar plexus in relation to your discipline, your willpower, and your abilities, your gifts. They want your vision. That's why they've been doing a lot of magic on your vision. All three eyes. Not only because they don't want you to see, but they also want to intercept what you see. They want to intercept what you hear. Your downloads and the frequencies. They want to bring illness to your heart chakra. They want to darken your heart. To bring sickness to your root and to your heart chakras. They have been doing spell work on your solar plexus and your sacral chakra as well. They've been sending sickness and disease, both spiritual and physical. There are many eyes looking and many mouths talking. But some people are walking away. But there is one snake in particular that wants to bite you and leave marks. A poisonous snake. They want to reverse your healing. They want to rewrite your story. They want you to forget who you are. They want to be equal to you. Or they want to be you. They want you to die by gunshot. They're chanting and requesting that. They have visions of you being decapitated. Other visions of them stomping on you. They want you to experience the back to senders that they sent to you originally. They're sending subliminal messages by the way of music to lower your vibration. So beware of the music that you're listening to. They seek an opportunity to get strands of your new growth, your hair. Their focus is on the material, what they can get from you materially. They're not in the energy of wisdom, but they're in the belief that they want your wisdom. They feel that if they can get access to your hair, that would be the key to whatever they are trying to steal from you. There's a lot of note-taking going on. A lot of writing. A lot of visits being made to priests and priestesses of a lower vibration. They smell and they hear reward on its way. They believe if they copy the original that they can be close enough to pass for the original. They want to turn you upside down. They want your day to turn into night. They also want to dirty you. Always possible. They fantasize about you being fragmented. They also fantasize about you being on an electric chair. If they could, they fantasize of them killing you over and over and over and over. You'd be surprised how I'm getting this information, because this is a new gift. I didn't know that I had. And I'm still in shock. I did not know I could read this. Thanks for the reawakenings. Wow. Deepening. Once you're on earth for enough lifetimes, your old soul will begin confirmation, will begin to long for non-grasping detachment and surrender. They bring you the peace of God. Very true. They don't only bring you the peace of God, they also protect you. Confirmation. Justice. It's funny how I said they don't only bring you the peace of God, they protect you, because that detachment, that non-grasping detachment, leads to transformation. Affording you the awakening the reawakening, the remembering of truth, deepening. justice. The snakes will have to leave, willingly or forcibly. Because you walk with knowledge and you embody life force. Because you can accept and you can deny. Because you recognize what's of a healing nature and what needs healing. Because you respect the chain of command. Because you are balanced in your energy confirmation of feminine and masculine energies. Because you have the favor of God. Because of the pool of bloodline you descend from. Because of the favor that comes with it. Because of the badges of honor that you've inherited. Because of your ranking. And position. Because you remember who you are and you stand on it. All after they betrayed you. Betrayal. Receiving. Every day it becomes easier to receive the highest divine plan and to trust my inner guidance. Hermitage. See, what the enemy sends to destroy you, God uses it to uplift you. And this is why even in the knowledge of the enemy's hand in your life plan, you receive it all willingly, because God awakens you to the fact that He will use it to lift you up. Can I say that's my testimony? Can I say that's my testimony? He used the plan of the enemy to lift me up, y'all. Do you understand why I am so happy about where I stand? God is here. I am receiving. Because He declared it. So in their attempt of making you a loner by yourself, detaching you from life force. People, places, things, and energies. Because they did that, it gave you the motivation to go inward, to heal yourself, to know the parts of you didn't have access to when the pollution of people, places, and things and energies that were not in alignment with your highest good was in your environment. You see, some of you experience a separation before divorce. And if you look back and pay attention to the separation before the divorce, you realize that God's favor began to pour onto your life upon the separation. The divorce didn't even happen yet. And you already was receiving favor from God, confirmation. In my case, soon as the separation occurred, I received promotions at work. I received opportunities for an increase of opportunity when it came to employment. I had an increase of salary. I also was honored with an award by my community. This all happened after the separation, even before the divorce. And what just came to mind right now as I was sharing this, I remember one of the individuals that I invited to that award assembly said, yes, I'll show up, I'll go there with you. Because if he denied, then I would have, invited a whole bunch of other people I could have chosen from. But I invited him. And then the night of, I said, remember, today is the night of the ward assembly. And he said, oh, I can't make it. I have to cook. Like, this is something important to me. Right? And you talking about you have to cook. Like, this is nothing about life or death. This is nothing about, once in a lifetime. This is, I have to cook. It was intentional to hurt me. But as I was sitting here right now, God just told me he was not supposed to be there at the ward assembly. His energy would have interfered. You see, you attracted goodness in absence of him because of his karma. So I can't even be upset that he did not show up for that award assembly because he was not supposed to be there. The same way that you right now, some of you rather, are in a cycle of your life where you are receiving recognition and reward. And those that were not in the intention of keeping you in that energy worthy of recognition and reward cannot be with you right now. They will interfere with what God is preparing for you on your table in front of your enemies. They can't be there. They can watch, but they cannot sit. And when they can watch, I mean with limitation, because they are at a great distance. They will only hear what you share. And they will only see what you allow. This is why I will continuously remind you to keep your personal business personal and keep your public interactions with the community in a different classification. When you need to make an example, you make it generally. You share what you can write about in a book. But you do not share details or, anything in regards to intimacy and so forth, because that is not the guidance that we're receiving. Manifestation. So that's telling me that in order to manifest peace, you have to walk with that intention of peace. Minding your business, not sharing your business, and living not only in your business, but in your lane. Staying in your lane. Confirmation. Change. When the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroad in your own evolution. Intelligence. Giving and receiving. The change is that today you are aware of what to give, and you are aware of what you can receive. You have been gifted with the gift of discernment. You have been gifted with the gift of reading energy. You have been gifted with the gift of prophecy. You see what's coming before it came. You know the traps being set. You know the efforts being made. You know, if you tell her you're sick, then she will help you. And if she helps you, that is a point of contact. If she gives you money, that is a point of contact. And we can use that for black magic. Or if you tell her you need someplace to stay and she allows you to stay with her, that's a way to enter the house. Physically and spiritually. If you tell her you need help, don't tell her I need help, but tell her you need help. And if she gives it to you, then you could give it to me. There are a lot of plans that they have tried to execute. And a lot of things they're trying to project. But those of you with a calling and purpose over your life, again, have the foreknowledge. Know the plans. Some you don't even share because it's entertaining. Let's see how far it'll go. Right? Invite help. Invite the divine to pursue you. Seriously, just say, I am finally ready, God, pursue me. Let's say this together. I am finally ready, God, pursue me. Let's say it again. I am finally ready, God, pursue me. One more time. This time when you say it, you're going to say it in sync. Your mind, body, and soul. You're going to say it in sync. Those with ears, hear. Because this means something. Mind, body, and soul. I'm finally ready, God. Pursue me. Now, if you just said it and you meant it, you activated it. You activated it by saying it in sync. Mind, body, and soul. Confirmation. I'm finally ready, God. Pursue me. I'm seeing a vision, confirmation of the Gabriel card that says grace, the planetary card that says cycles, and the mercy card the Sandalphon card that says mercy. Confirmation. Invite help. For new beginnings. And pleasure. This was my sign to continue how I started. I was very emotional before I started today's episode. Not because of today's reading, but because I knew what I was being asked to do during the reading. And I've just been cued. That I need to start. Self-love sometimes requires sacrifice. Because you have to be in tune with your individuality. Let the wall fall that separates me from my own vulnerable inner child. I long to take care of myself like never before. Sacrifice. Sometimes surrender is painful. God's cutting away all the needs Sometimes surrender is painful. God's cutting away all the needs to illusions, obsessions, addictions. It's all a sacrifice to love. God's cutting away all that needs to go. Illusions, obsessions, addictions. It's a sacrifice to love. Sometimes surrender is painful. God's cutting away all that needs to go. Illusions, obsessions, addictions. It's a sacrifice to love. Individuality. Every person has their own personalized study plan in this earth school. Every person has their own personalized study plan in this earth school. Every person has their own personalized study plan in this earth school. This is why you have to do your own work. This is why the protocol is invite help, self-love, sacrifice, and individuality. And I know you are hearing all the confirmation in the background. When you invite help, that's the beginning, the first step, right? The self-love has to do with faith and wisdom. The sacrifice has to do with justice, truth, and fairness. The individuality has to do with meditation. When you invite help, you attract pleasure. When you invite self-love, you release self-sabotage. When you invite sacrifices to love, which is sacrifices to God, you invite liberation. When you invite individuality, you walk away from resistance. Invite help. Invite help is associated to those of you that are praying. Please, God, help me. It's too much. I realize I made a mistake, but what now? I'm tired. I want to get out of this. This was never my plan. I was tricked. You know this. It's not fair. Why? And so forth. I can't. Can't what? I can't do this anymore. The recognition of God. What He wanted you to see all along. You can't do this without Him. And sometimes He has to allow you to walk into those circumstances to see for yourself. Confirmation. Oh yeah, God. You are in command. Yes. He is. He's always been. He always will be. And just like there are different versions of yourself, there are different versions of Him. Those with ears hear. Those with eyes see. Those with connection know. He can be very loving. But He is also very fair. And the same way He can afford you life, He can present death. This is very hard for me to say, God. This is why I asked you, even before I got on this episode, I need you to give me a sign, because this is very hard. I see. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Okay. All right. I don't even know from where to begin. I'm just going to let you guide me. I'm obviously here, but sometimes you get to see firsthand that it's not easy as you think when you are in a role that requires leadership. But God is my strength. I want to start off by saying I love my father. I just received the sign. So that's good. What is the sign? Angels and Jesus are reminding you that the connection to the kingdom of heaven is within you. Okay? As charged. Okay, so, yeah, I love my father very much. And I learned a lot from his life. And as I shared with you yesterday, everything happens for a reason. You may not know why you meet someone, but in time you learn why you meet them when you open up to doing your shadow work or healing work or inner child work, whatever it is. I learned that I've been doing work in regarding to healing the relationship I had with my father for years, right? And interestingly enough, I got more invested in it the year my son was born. And without knowing, the year my son was born was going to be the year that he died, which was brought to my attention by someone that loves me very much, who's a second mother to me, and who said God knew that you were going to lose your dad, so he gave you a son the same year. And I remember sitting with family members right after he was buried, and a cousin of mine said, "Why are we crying? He didn't go anywhere." And we looked at her like, "What are you talking about?" And my son was on her lap. He was 6 months old. And she said, "He's here." And I believe she made that comment because of the resemblance, because as I shared, I look a lot like my dad. And because my son is masculine, obviously, if he looks like me, which he does, he looks like my dad. So I'm getting to see how he looked like when he was a child growing up. And there were certain things revealed to me that I can relate with, that he experienced as a child and that I experienced as a child. But neither of us got the attention it required because of the fact that of the culture of where we come from. There are certain things that are not addressed when it comes to mental health and psychology, you know, different things that can bring a lot of comfort to your life. But you need to know the resources, you need to know those who specialize in it, you need to know it's okay, that it benefits us all. So it took many years of counseling, many years of therapy, many years of going to grief support group and everything to finally iron out a lot regarding my father-daughter wounds, right? Because like everyone else, he's balanced. But he had challenges due to the fact of the wounds he had as a child that were never addressed. Because from our culture, especially people from that time, they didn't believe in going to counseling or, you know, that's unheard of. You know, it's today that people from my culture are very open to such things due to education and due to us being awakened to the fact that neglecting our shadow work and our inner work is what's causing us to experience challenges and obstacles that are repetitive and come in patterns and no longer can be ignored. So on that journey of self-development, I learned to love myself. I feel that he didn't get enough of guidance in that department when it came to self-love. He knew his history, which made him proud, and he passed it down to me in teaching my history and made me proud. But I don't believe that self-forgiveness was ever introduced to him. I don't believe he ever made that acquaintance with the energy of self-forgiveness. You see, you have to be in certain circles, certain safe circles. People that are focused on spiritual work of a higher vibration. People that are willing to accept you as you are in order to open doors of enlightenment. He was more exposed to the social life and pleasures of, you know, music and clubbing and dancing and having fun and entertaining and so forth, being well-rounded, well-traveled and so forth, very cultural. But certain things were neglected because we can't be everything. And he just followed his bliss. in many senses of the word. Now, due to his lack of balance in the area of doing his healing work, he received misfortune. He had issues in regards to his childhood because he didn't live with his father. So he always held some type of animosity in relation to that. And when he died, there were certain things that were not ironed out when it came to the relationship he had with his dad. And the generational curse continued because, well, I should say when my grandfather died, I want to make this straight. When my grandfather died, he still didn't make peace with him as he could have. There were certain things that were still left unhealed, to the point where when his dad died, his dad was very abundant when it came to real estate. And he had many kids. I don't think it's necessary to say how many kids, but he had many kids with different mothers. He was very handsome. And all of those kids, meaning all of my aunts and uncles on my paternal side, inherited a house. All of them, except one. My dad. He did not inherit the house because he did not make peace. And that does not mean that he had to be buddy-buddy or best friends or anything. But he had to recognize that what happened, happened already. Just as I break the generational curse. And I say, what happened, happened already. How he showed up for me is how he showed up for me. How he didn't show up for me is how he didn't show up with me. But I still can release it. I still can give it to the angels. It still can be transmuted. And in that act, I don't only heal myself, I heal others, which intensifies the healing and a raise in the vibration collectively. See, my grandmother was gifted, and she descended from those that were gifted. And so my dad was gifted as well. But there were certain efforts that he declined, sometimes due to not crossing paths with opportunity that he felt he aligned to. So he neglected certain things because he did not feel aligned to certain paths. Because although I was raised in the church, this was due to my mother's efforts, my grandmother's efforts, my maternal family members. The masculine members were riding off on the prayers that the feminines were making, so to speak. They were more interested in gaining access to be providers and very interested in history. And today I'm learning, interested in philosophies that I didn't even know when they were alive. I'm learning from other family members. Yes, he was interested in this. He used to study this. He used to do that. And due to his lack of knowledge of self-love and allowing others to intervene in his personal life, like his marital life or his procreated life, those that were not wise with their words or their actions, he sacrificed the relationship he had with his children, with his wife at the time, because of the fact that he couldn't love himself enough. He did not have the foundation of the self-love tools that would have assisted him with a journey to progress. This is involving ascension. He experienced a lot of stagnation because of the fact that there were things left unhealed. So when I met the person that I divorced, it was to help me heal, because God knew how much I wanted to heal. When you want to heal, He makes it happen for you. That's why you have to be careful what you ask for, because I wanted to heal all those father-daughter wounds, because I know I love my dad. But still, there were seasons that we experienced a strain in our relationship because we were estranged due to miscommunication, misunderstanding, and avoidance, right? But through my last marriage, from where I was, due to the divorce I experienced, because he's not my last marriage, but due to the divorce, wow. Why did I say the voice? But due to what I experienced, I'm hearing divine voice. He's not my last marriage, right? Okay, due to what was experienced in that marriage, I was able to understand my father more and understand why he did what he did and what coping skills that he did not align himself to, and the fact that he did not do his shadow work, and the fact that he did not do his inner child work, and the fact, okay? So, inheritance, the subject of inheritance is very much highlighted when it comes to my bloodline, because he lost his inheritance because he did not make peace, right? And again, I don't say peace mean agreement with that person's lifestyle or what he did, but it just means you release it. You release the hurt. Okay, the person abandoned you, the person neglected you, the person wasn't there for you. That's your interpretation of it. right? But you release it to God. You release it to the angels for it to be transmuted, because he was called to be a leader. Okay? He was called to be a healer. That's why healers experience life, because you learn from your circumstances and then you teach others how you got out of that maze, right? He didn't take that opportunity. Instead, he allowed himself to drown in self-pity when he became estranged to his family due to poor mistakes that stemmed from the guidance he was receiving and the fact that he aligned himself to those that would just cheer him on rather than redirect him. You know, you could do this instead. Maybe you should do this. From his life, one of the most important things, lessons, would be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. I'm going to say it again. It's worthy to be said again. Be careful what you say. I love this man, right? But I also loved my mother, right? So, my father's mother was killed by her husband. Not my grandfather. I said by her husband. So he would be considered a step-grandfather. Okay? So I'm very funny when it comes to domestic violence, because I know I have to break the curse. She died when I was 13. And when I was having those situations of the Judas that was in my life, where he was cheating and plotting with others to kill me and so forth, it was her that came to me in a dream. And she showed me a movie screen. And she showed me her body when she died that was left on the ground with the bruises and the markings on her face. And then she pointed at me and she shook her head like, I don't want that to be you. So I knew I was in danger. She didn't have to utter a word. She did speak to me eventually in dreams I had later on. But that dream, she didn't utter a word. But I understood. So, even though I shared that story before about her husband killing her, her husband killed her because there was an argument about inheritance. She invested in the house and he invested in the house. And there was a will that was made. And basically she was saying what my father was going to inherit. And then he was saying what his children was going to inherit. I mean, her husband was saying what his children was going to inherit. And basically she wanted half because they both invested similar amounts. But he said because he had more children, see, their children were not from the marriage. He came into the marriage with children, and my grandmother came into the marriage with my father. She only had one biological child. It's my grandfather that had many children, but they were not married. My step-grandfather also had many children, and that's who killed my grandmother, my step-grandfather. So the issue was, well, we need to give your son this amount, and then all my other kids get this amount. But she's like, yo, I invested this much too, so my son should get my amount, and your kids should get your amount in division. And it led to her death, because what she was fighting for her son, it led to her death. All right? Now, these lies that were happening behind my back were brought to my attention because my father came and told me in my dreams about the house, about the money. See, this is going to be 3 generations now. And I am the generational curse breakers. Because I walked away. You see, my grandmother, she didn't walk away. She tried to reason with her husband. Listen, you have to understand and be rational here. I only have 1 child. I understand you're there for yours, but I'm there for mine too. And it took her life. And when she died, my father never was the same again. Part of him died that day that she died. It's like I lost both of them at once. And so there was no way that they were going to allow this to happen again, the 3rd generation, when I broke so many curses. You see, when my grandfather died, because so many things were left unhealed, my biological grandfather, the one who had a lot of children, the one who left kids, the one who left houses to all his kids except my dad. He was so miserable in his life, so empty, that he drank himself to death. My father, he was estranged from his family. He was so miserable, so empty, he drank himself to death. Before my father drank himself to death, I told myself, because of what happened to my grandfather, I will never drink. I will never take drugs. Because I'm going to break that curse. Unfortunately, my father didn't go to counseling. He kept on denying he had issues. He allowed the blind to guide him. And he lost his life with a bottle, alone, at his home. And on New Year's Day I don't have to say what year, I received a phone call, and the only thing the person said is, you know you haven't seen your dad in a long time, right? And I just fell to the ground. That's all she said. And I just fell to the ground because I knew. And my brother was like, what's wrong? And I said, my father's dead. There's someone who was a Judas in my life that lived a very similar path to his life, to my father's life. You had issues with your dad that were never healed. You let your family and the blind lead you to be estranged from your family. That led you to alcohol. And I already know the same way I didn't see my father before he died. I will not see you before you die. But I want you to know that today's episode was an opportunity to learn a lesson this life. To get your wisdom from God. To not follow the crowd. And also that death is in the environment. That eventually I'll be able to remember the lessons you left and forgive the hurts. Sanctity, detachment, extraordinary, freedom. Goodbye.